Hello, good evening students. Let us try to understand polar covalent bond and non-polar covalent bond. This is asked by my students here. So, dear students, you try to understand that is polar covalent bond. Polar means what, student? There must have the two pole, positive or negative pole. There must be two pole. That is what the polar covalent bond. You know, student, covalent bond means that is bond formed by sharing of electron. And polar covalent bond means if the sharing of electron is between two different atom of two different atom, you can say, are the atoms of two different electronegativities. That is what is polar covalent bond. Let us read. Covalent bond between atoms of two different electronegativities are called, that is polar covalent light, like HF, student. Hydrogen is electropositive, fluorine electronegative, HCl, H2O, NH3. They are polar covalent bond. Now let us see, student. If you talk about the hydrogen, this is 1s1. If you talk about the fluorine, 9. So that is, we can write, student, you can write that is the configuration like that. What configuration? Here you can see hydrogen is only 1 electron and fluorine is 2 and 7 electron, right, student? So you can make a dot here, hydrogen 1 dot and fluorine how many dot, student? That is 7 dot. Okay, 7 dot. So what will happen, student? This is the overlapping like this. Okay, now in this process, what is happening, student? In this process, the hydrogen is less electronegative and fluorine is more electronegative. So fluorine will attract this electron pair towards this direction and will acquire the negative charge, and partial, this is positive charge. This type of bond is known as polar covalent bond. Polar covalent bond. Now polar, why, student? Because positive and negative charges are getting developed, and covalent bond means there is the form by the sharing of electron. That is why polar. Suppose similarly you can go for the water molecule, student. H2O is also the polar solvent, polar covalent bond. How can you say that is H2O is polar, students? Let us try to understand with the help of the diagram. See, so if you talk about the if you talk about the, here is water molecule, student. So in case of water molecule, student, I need to draw the diagram, students. How can you be able to diagram? See, oxygen, if you are talking about 8 electrons are there, and if you do the configuration, student, what will be the configuration? 2 and 6. Okay, 2 and 6. And if you talk about the hydrogen, student, hydrogen is, that is only 1. So let us have a draw the diagram, student. Oxygen, how many? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And hydrogen 5, 6. Hydrogen, if you talk about, that is 1. Here is hydrogen 1, right? Now you do the diagram, student. See, this is the diagram, student, like that. Dear student, when you trying to do the diagram in this way, what is there, you see, that is the resultant will be like that. Okay, O, here is H and here is H, right? So here is this is the electronegative atom, right? So it will attract the electron, and this is also, it will attract the electron. So as a result, what will happen, student? It will require, that is partial 2 negative, and this is partial positive and partial positive. So plus minus is developed. So that is what is, that is polar covalent. Polar means that is different electronegativity. Covalent means sharing of electrons. So polar covalent. This is our required answer, student. Now the next point is what they are, student? Non-polar covalent bond. So when you talk about non-polar covalent bond, so covalent bond between the atoms of same element like H2, N2, F2, etc., O2, Cl2 are the, what is non-polar. So suppose we are having, student, H2. So H2 is having the same electronegativity, student. So how can you draw? That is only 1 electron here, 1 hydrogen, only 1 electron. So hydrogen 1 dot, here is hydrogen 1 dot. So this is the, like that the bond is being formed, student. So what we can say, student, HH. So both the electron is in the center, student. So no positive negative charge is being developed. So that is, it is what is, student? Non-polar. This is what, student? Non-polar covalent bond, right, student? Non-polar covalent bond. If you talk about the O2 molecule, student, so oxygen is what is there, student? 2, 6. Again oxygen is there, 2, 6. So you can have the 1 2 3 4 5 6, another oxygen 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this we can draw like that, student. So you see that is sharing is there, but the equal sharing of electron is there between the two oxygen atom. There is no electronegativity difference in the oxygen. So this will be what, student? There will be no polarity, positive negative. So this is what is the non-polar covalent bond, student. Non-polar covalent bond. Okay. Now students, try to understand another polar covalent compounds and definitions. Okay. So here is HCl is they have made, student. So H is electronegative, C partial negative, and hydrogen is partial positive. So polar covalent bonding is a type of chemical bond where pair of electron is unequally shared. Okay, unequally shared means the pair of electron is going towards what? Chlorine side. Okay, and between the atoms of two different electronegativities. Okay, what is these compounds are called polar covalent bond. As example, HCl, where both have the different electronegativity, means hydrogen is partial positive and chlorine is negative. Now they are saying non-polar covalent bond, student. Non-polar covalent bond with equal sharing of the bonded electron arise when the electronegativity of the two atoms are equal. These compounds are called non-polar covalent compounds. As example is H2 gas, where HH both have the same electronegativities. Define and give examples of the non-polar covalent compounds. Definition: the bond formed between the two atoms of same element, then the bond is called as non-polar covalent bond. For example, H2 N2 molecule, they are the non-polar covalent bond. You can see, student, the problem here. How can you tell if bond is polar or non-polar? Okay, so the reason is if the difference in electronegativity for the atoms in the bond is greater than 0.4, like we are having H and Cl. If the electronegativity difference of the chlorine and hydrogen is more than 0.4, the consider will be polar bond. If the difference in electronegativity is less than 0.4, the bond is essentially non-polar. If there is no polar bond, the molecule is non-polar. Now, what is the polar covalent bond and non-polar covalent bond? The polar covalent bond is type of covalent bond formed between two non-identical atoms. Like what is HCl, HF, they are not identical. The non-polar covalent bond is covalent bond in which the two difference in electronegativity between the bonded atom is less than 0.5. Okay, so this is what the reason. What is difference between polar and non-polar covalent bond? Bond that are partially ionic. Okay, polar covalent bond. Non-polar covalent bond with equal sharing of the bonded electron arise when the electronegativity of two atoms are equal. Okay, so this is all about the polar and non-polar covalent bond, student. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, please do like and subscribe the channel, students.